Welcome back. Weight loss is a multi-billion-dollar industry in North America. So when promising new technology comes along, spas and clinics are the first in line. Even better if that technology includes lasers and the procedure is painless. One such machine is marketed by a company called Zerona Canada, and their pitch is hard to resist. Investors say they were promised large profits and exclusive sales. But as Alan Carter uncovered, for some, the fat zapping laser wasn't the magic moneymaker they thought it would be.
And other machines that claim it can do the same thing are lying.
Okay.
Nobody can do what we can do. We get amazing results.
This is hidden camera of the owner of a clinic selling these treatments to help people lose inches.
$2,800, you get 9 treatments.
Okay.
$3,500, you get 12 treatments. $4,000, you get 18 treatments.
She's talking about this company, Zerona Canada, and promises of a laser that melts fat, as seen here in this YouTube ad.
Zerona is a clinically proven, FDA-cleared cold laser that safely penetrates the skin, causing the release of unwanted fat from your hips, waist, and thighs.
But melting fat isn't the only promise Zerona Canada makes.
I have been super successful.
Oh, yeah.
The company also markets the dream of making clinic owners rich selling its laser treatments.
So I was at Yorkdale, and I was doing anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 a month. If you can sell 1 package a month, you should break even.
Okay.
And once you do that, more than 1 package a month, you should be rolling.
Okay.
It's a Zerona pitch that convinced dozens of investors across Canada to buy in. In Winnipeg, Manitoba, Laura Akong was hooked after using the product.
I loved the product. I believed in the product. When other center owners called me and said, Laura, do you really think it works? I said, absolutely. I had no doubt in my mind.
She loved it so much, she bought in. While Zerona Canada never wrote it in her contract, Laura says she was encouraged by promises of exclusivity and a proven business plan. She put down more than $100,000 for one of the lasers to start selling treatments herself. At first, her business skyrocketed, with sales of almost $100,000 a month.
I did amazing. And I mean, I was proud of myself. I was seen as a superstar by the head office.
Such a superstar that Laura says the CEO of Zerona Canada asked her to be the company's poster child.
And the focus was on me and being successful.
More than 2,000 kilometers away in Toronto, Christina Mitchison dreamed of the same success.
After the first time I used the laser, I wanted to have one. This is a laser.
She was so excited, she not only borrowed money to buy the laser, she and her husband James dumped another $60,000 into building a Zerona clinic.
My husband and I were very excited to think that this business is going to take off, and in no time, because the projection just kept going up. Like, the graph was like, and there was no stopping.
They emphasized how rapid the business will grow and how we might be in need of 2 or 3 machines.
In the meantime, Laura's empire in Winnipeg was rapidly growing. She even purchased a few more lasers. But suddenly, another clinic using the same Zerona laser opened up almost next door. Even worse, the new clinic was selling treatments for half price. Laura says she reached out to Zerona Canada for help, since the new clinic had opened up in the exclusive territory she says was promised to her by Zerona Canada.
I begged him for help. I asked him, please, could you do something about this? I was told, go and do your own investigation. It's not up to us. It's up to you to keep him away.
Laura says despite Zerona Canada's promise it has exclusive rights in Canada and that nobody else can sell the laser, she discovered the new clinic was using a Zerona laser bought off eBay for a fraction of the $100,000 price.
Even the contract says the exclusive right belongs to Zerona Canada. Well, how was it then that they couldn't close those doors?
This is how the deal with Zerona Canada was supposed to work. Buy a laser from Zerona Canada for just over $100,000 per laser, plus pay a license fee ranging from $20,000 to $30,000 for a rough total of $130,000. Take the laser and set up shop. But there was an added cost. Laser owners had to pay $5 to Zerona Canada for every laser click. And one more fee. Every month, owners had to pay Zerona Canada $5,000 for rights and services provided by Zerona.
Why am I running such a high overhead cost if you're not helping me? You should be protecting me, and I wasn't protected.
16x9 wanted to get Zerona Canada's response to those allegations. No one from Zerona Canada would speak to us on camera. The company sent a written response instead, saying it didn't see a remarkable decline in Laura's sales after the other clinic opened, and that her closure was due to other reasons. We wanted to hear the marketing pitch for ourselves, so we set up a meeting and posed as a prospective clinic owner.
Hi. Hi. Hi, Marie.
Our producer met with Marie Kozak, a clinic owner who came to talk with us about the company after we applied on the Zerona Canada website to become a new licensee. Zerona Canada says Marie Kozak doesn't speak for them, but Marie was the person who responded to our Zerona Canada application.
So the territory would basically be exclusive to this area, okay? Nobody else can buy a Zerona laser without going through you.
They can't.
Okay.
No, they would get shut down.
Okay, that's awesome.
And we are supported by the manufacturer in that. We have the rights locked up to Canada.
Sure enough, we got that same promise of exclusive territory. Even a promise Zerona would shut down anyone who tried to compete.
What if someone else opens a Zerona laser down the street?
They won't do that.
They couldn't come and buy a Zerona laser online or something?
Oh, God, no.
No. You can't do that?
No. So Zerona laser is only available in Canada through Zerona Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you can purchase one and get it over in the States and we find it, the lawyer will squish them so fast it will make your head spin.
But Laura says no Zerona lawyer jumped in to squish the competition in her case. Instead, the other clinic kept running and she had to shut her doors.
And I had to declare bankruptcy because I just could no longer afford it.
Back over in Toronto, Christina and James were inches away from the same fate. Christina says while Zerona Canada told her clients would be rolling through the door, after the first 2 months making money off friends and family, sales dried up.
We were getting nothing, like no sales, like zero, nothing at all. We couldn't even give away free treatments.
On hidden camera, Marie told us a very different story.
I made a profit in the first month, to be honest, but things have shifted.
What would be reasonable for us to expect?
I don't know. It's going to be self-driven a lot.
She admitted the business was hard work, but worth it for the big payoff.
Basically, 10 people a day in the door at $100 a piece, and you're going to make a six-figure, not a high, but you'll make $100,000.
Christina says she never made close to a six-figure return, and after being open less than a year, she realized there was no way to keep her clinic afloat.
It was costing us money every day just to stay open.
The only way she could stop bleeding money was to close her doors. Christina's Zerona Laser Clinic wasn't the only shop to go belly up. 16x9 did a survey. Of the 25 clinics advertised in these 2012 Zerona flyers, 8 have closed, and 3 more told 16x9 they are trying to sell or get out.
I was promised that I'd be making money from day one.
Oriel Rhodes owned one of the clinics that closed.
When you were talking to Zerona, did they give you a number of what you should expect in terms of profit?
Yes.
What did they say?
Over $200,000 a year.
In profit?
In profit.
How much money did you have to invest up front?
$200,000.
What did that represent in terms of your savings?
My entire life savings. From the time I was 23 until today, what I had saved in my coffers.
While Zerona Canada posted pictures of her opening on its Facebook page, Oriel says her business was doomed from the start because of sales and discounts that undercut the cost of treatments.
The first month I opened, a wag jag was run. You offer a 50% discount and then you pay 50% of what you earn back to the individuals running the wag jag advertisement, which actually had me treating clients below cost.
Who ran the wag jag?
Zerona Canada's head office.
Other clinic owners told 16x9 the same story. They had to offer treatments at a cut rate.
How does that make sense?
It doesn't make sense.
How much money did you make in the first month?
None.
How much money did you make in the second month?
None. We never made a profit.
On paper, like, it looks good, but if you're presented with the actual numbers, nobody would touch this. Like, nobody would go near it. I researched the technology, but I didn't research the people. Biggest mistake.
Next, tracking down the people behind a fat-melting laser.
She has gone to live in the Caribbean part-time,
Nice.
so that she can run the business out of there, and it's a tax haven as well, right?
Oriole Rhodes invested her entire life savings in a fat-melting laser, believing the business was a license to print money.
I was promised that I'd be making money from day one.
But now, she's losing her home.
We never made a profit.
In a written statement to 16 by 9, Zerona Canada blamed Oriole for the clinic closure, saying she did not devote enough time to her clinic because she had another job. But Oriole says she's not the only clinic owner duped by Zerona Canada and the woman behind the company, CEO Giselle Bryden, who posts photos of herself and Zerona clinic owners on her Facebook page. In a hidden camera conversation, 16 by 9 is asking a Zerona Canada licensee about the company and Giselle Bryden.
She has gone to live in the Caribbean part-time,
Nice.
so that she can run the business out of there, and it's a tax haven as well, right? They've gone international.
Oh, wow.
So because Zerona Canada now owns also the rights to the Caribbean, Australia, and New Zealand,
Wow.
as well as Canada.
I was told that it would be an easy business to own and have someone else operate. And that I could easily, and I would quote this from Giselle Bryden's mouth, pay somebody $20 an hour to run the business and be making profit hand over fist.
But Oriole wasn't making money hand over fist. And then she found out something else was going terribly wrong. Oriole says she was paying rent to her landlord, but she says he wasn't paying his rent to the owner of the building.
I was informed that I was being locked out of my clinic. I was told to secure my personal properties out of there because the rent had not been paid.
Who did you lease your clinic space from?
Cardillo Entertainment.
The director of Cardillo Entertainment is none other than Giselle Bryden's husband, John Cardillo, seen here together in a Facebook picture. John Cardillo is no stranger to the spotlight. His now defunct fitness chain, Premier Fitness, was investigated for fraud in 2004 for overcharging members. Charges were never laid. Premier Fitness eventually went into receivership. In fact, John Cardillo is linked to 43 companies that were forced into receivership. Oriole blames John Cardillo, in part, for her business going defunct too.
Why?
He didn't pay his rent.
So he goes out of business, you go out of business.
Absolutely.
And just when Oriole thought things couldn't get worse, she says they did. After her clinic closed down, Oriole says a representative from Zerona Canada broke in and took her $100,000 laser.
I physically saw Lisa Yu removing the laser from my clinic after the lock had been ripped off the door.
Zerona Canada says it was asked by the bank to help repossess Oriole's lasers. Oriole says the whole experience with Zerona Canada has left her penniless.
You're skint as the...
Not a dime. More than skint. I'm in the hole. Freedom 85 couldn't help me out.
Now Oriole is in a court battle with Zerona Canada. This couple is battling Zerona Canada too. Christina and James say they were sold a bill of goods, so they're suing Zerona Canada and Giselle Bryden for $400,000. They got on a plane to track down CEO Giselle Bryden at her office in Barbados. They showed up at the office only to discover no one was there.
This is the registered office, but they're not based here.
But they say they did find Giselle here at her Barbados beachside home.
Hi.
Hi, just wanted to drop this out. She was turning around to say hello, not sure who it was, and then she turned back around when she saw it was me. She did take the paperwork.
Now Giselle and Zerona Canada are denying they were properly served those legal papers and say Christina and James' clinic failed because they opened in the wrong location and didn't devote enough time to the business. While Zerona Canada's CEO Giselle Bryden is living in this beachfront property in Barbados, back in Burlington, Ontario, Oriole Rhodes says she has to sell her home. She has lived here for more than a decade. She raised her family here. Now Oriole says she has to give it up so she can get out of the hole. A hole, she says, that was created by Zerona Canada.
It's been pretty difficult to get out of bed some days. Knowing that I tried to do something to benefit my family, wind up sitting here today talking to you, telling you how it's decimated my future, my family, my stability, and my security.